here with us week after week.
Sorry. Pick up again. Start from the top. Afternoon.
Hello, viewers. Welcome to this another series of AgChem Plant Live. We're happy that you could have joined us for this afternoon's presentation. I do hope that you're keeping safe and that you're following the COVID-19 protocols. For those who have joined us week after week, we salute you and we say continue to learn, grow, and to increase your yields. This afternoon, we'll be speaking on the topic of nursery management. But of course, for your usual participation, at the end of the session, you will be rewarded. So, as we dissect how to grow and to establish your seedlings in your various nursery conditions, do take your jottings and, of course, feel free to submit your questions at the end of this presentation. Also, do remember to like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe to our various platforms. Let's move on into the subject matter. So today we'll be covering nursery care, of course, how to set up your structures and how to consider the various attributes of a good site selection, the tray sizes that are appropriate and are best, the medium or the growing substrate that is ideal, the of course the pre and post germination care, and how to harden off and to take your crops into the field. Now, a nursery is a special place where seedlings are maintained. Now, you must, of course, bear in mind that it must have adequate growing conditions. What are these, you might ask? Sufficient sunlight, water, free of air movement, and of course, free from various insect pests and diseases. The idea is that you will be providing special care over a 3 to approximately 6 week period so you can grow these young seedlings. So at the time of transplanting, they would have been protected sufficiently enough and cared for to move into the field. And of course, bear in mind that the operator needs a comfortable space in which to work. Needless I say that you're in the space and it's either too hot or uncomfortable. And of course, you'll be hearing from our farmers and our different individuals who have been using our nursery care management program to produce excellent seedlings throughout the region. Now then, once you've decided to propagate or to sow seedlings, it's a dedicated practice. You need to, of course, ensure that you maintain sufficient moisture levels in the growing media, and at the same time, it has ambient temperature. It should be free from various adverse weather conditions. So you should at least protect or provide some degree of shelter. It also ensures that this crop that you're caring for can move into the field with little or no harm, as well as free from pests and diseases. Additionally, you need to consider some factors. Once you're constructing this area, you need to put it in an east to west orientation. Why is this so? You want maximum sunlight so the seedlings are not elongated and at the same time they are robust and growing with excellent vigor. Avoid shaded areas. This, of course, will cause the plants to stretch, and what you'll have are leggy seedlings. And of course, when these go into the field, it makes an excellent point at which you have various insects like your mole cricket to cut them down. Also, ensure that you have access to clean water. Note the word clean, preferably potable or standing water, that you would have known the ultimate source. Use, of course, certified seeds. And at Agchem Plant Limited, of course, we have our No New and we have our Namdari brands. These are seeds that have been developed with the intent for our local tropical conditions. They can withstand the various wind shears or climate changes that we would have been going through over the last 2 or 3 years. We would have also put in sufficient field work to ensure that the quality is maintained right throughout. So, of course, ask for your seeds at your various farm stores. Now, then, once you've decided on the crop to be grown, you want to also be mindful of the size trays. Now, if you're growing sweet peppers, for example, you want to ensure that over the period you are getting at least 4 to 6 inches of growth with excellent root mass. Of course, this also will be determined by the size of the cells or the holes in the trays that you have. Trays that are 128 or even 75 are more ideal for those. Crops like tomato can be established in your 200 cell trays since they will only take at least 2 to 3 weeks in your nursery. Ensure also that the size is measured. Let's say, for example, you're setting seeds with a view to go into the field. What also happens is that you might have a few hiccups along the way. So maybe the tractor service is late, or maybe your laborers are late. So you want to be able to be in a position to have some amount of wiggle room. So you have these materials very much. You can hold the seedlings for a little bit longer, so you can go in the field in the period. Now, the larger the cell size also contributes to even better root development. And remember, this is important for excellent takeoff and strong seedlings as they go further into the different growth cycles. Now, for the growing medium, here at AgChem plant, we have a specific blend, but more particularly, your growing medium should be provide adequate drainage as well as water retention. It should be able to hold some amount of nutrient for the plant and support the newly developing root structures. Additionally, it should allow for gaseous exchange. What do I mean by that? You might see some growing medium on the market that at times there is a green moss growing on the top. This prevents air from passing through the structure, which kills the root systems. So you want to have a medium that allows for free movement of air as well as water, so as to allow for maximum root development as well as penetration and gaseous exchange. Now then, you have substrates such as rock wool, expanded coir. You have also vermiculite or perlite, or even expanded clays. These can be used and they are suited for various types of production systems. For those who do hydroponics, the rock wool types or the Oasis cubes are more advantageous because you don't want residues from your growing media into your hydroponics nutrient solution. In farmers who are going into open field conditions, of course, your vermiculite based or perlite based material is also adequate. However, at AgChem plant, as I alluded to earlier, we supply the TH Grow Mix. This is an excellent product that allows you to benefit in the long term. Let's explore why I just said that. It's a mixture that has no perlite nor vermiculite. This, of course, is advantageous in that, remember that green moss I told you about that holds some amount of water? That will be prevented. So there's no green algae growing on the surface of the seed trays. It's extra fine, so what you have is proper air movement throughout the medium. And of course, needless I say, it allows for even better as well as uniform germination right throughout the period. And of course, additionally, you will end up with strong root mass as you go on. So, just to recap, extra fine peat moss, that is 100%. You also get a starter fertilizer in this product with trace elements. How does this help you? As the seeds are germinating, the plants will be able to pick up this, and what you'll get is a faster takeoff. It has dolomitic as well as calcitic limestone, which is super fine, which also adds calcium, which is a building block for the young seedlings developing to grow strong into the substrate. It also has a non-ionic wetting agent. What does this mean? That as you add water to this substrate, it binds and holds and retains, but in a manner where it is not too wet nor too dry. So what you'll end up with is a 40 to 50% moisture retention, but adequate as well as free drainage. This advantage, of course, allows you to have reduced damping off issues because it's easier to wet and free drainage. Because of the nature of the fine particulate matter that makes it up, the root system has less work to penetrate the substrate. This, of course, will give you that nice, robust root mass that when you pull them from your seed trays, they will be of excellent nature. Of course, because it is fine, there is air movement, as I had alluded to earlier. This prevents fungal buildup and instances where you have your pythium or your phytophthora or your damping off as we know it. Now, this is as a result of the porosity of the medium itself. Once you have this, then it simply means that you have a better start for your seedlings. Now, after your seeds are sown, you want to ensure that you have adequate water, but not overwetting. Now, you don't want to be going and stirring up the medium, but you ensure you look at the surface, and you'll observe if the medium needs more water. A little tap on the surface, and you'll see if your fingertips are moist. That tells you that there's sufficient water. Again, you'll need adequate temperature as well as lighting to allow for proper germination. And of course, the gases, oxygen, so as to allow the seeds to respire, so as to have that strong takeoff. Now then, enough of me talking. Let's look at some of the feedback that we've been getting in a short order. Now, if you notice this robust, nice layer of lettuce that I just presented to you, these are beyond the need for transplanting. But because they are in the TH grow mix substrate, what you find is that the medium itself allows for you to even hold the plants a little bit longer without even suffering from various damping off issues. Let's look one step further. If you note the seedlings on my extreme left of your screen, perhaps right, there are two sweet peppers, or two peppers rather. Now, if you note the root mass that has been afforded or given to this plant in terms of its start as compared to another growing medium that has been used. Now, when you do this, the roots are better able to reach down and to pick up whatever nutrients that are in the substrate and to grow and to develop. You look at the cabbage in the middle. The roots are evenly distributed throughout the growing medium and, of course, are better able. And if you note carefully, the roots are white. What does this mean and why is this important? The white roots indicate that these roots are very much well and alive, ready to go and to send out the other fibrous roots into your soil once you've transplanted them to have them growing and develop. And if you look at the lettuce, even the seed leaves are still present, telling you that the medium supports the growth and development of the seedling as it moves further. Now then, as we go further, you'll note that here we did a simple demonstration activity to show you the efficacy of one of our products that we use, and I'll mention to you later. The initial stage is on the extreme left of your screen. And what you saw were seedlings that were approximately 9 days post germination, a little bit lethargic and growing slow. And all we did was to apply one of our flagship brands to this product. I'll tell you about it later. But first, let us hear from one of our farmers, Mr. Donrick Baker, from Found Out Nurseries, where he has been using not just our Namdari and no new seeds, but has been employing the use of our strategy in growing the seedlings. Mr. Baker. Welcome to this another series in AgChem Plant Live. I'm hoping that you're keeping safe and following the COVID-19 protocols. Today, we're in Newport, Manchester, but more particularly Heathfield, and we're at Found Out Farm. Welcome, Mr. Baker. Thank you for hosting us in this training session. Now we'll be talking about nursery management. You see these lush, beautiful seedlings? There's only one way to arrive at this, and that is to start with good quality planting material. But don't take it from me. Sir Baker, how do you achieve the kind of results we're observing here? And help us to understand how do you arrive at these lovely lush seedlings?
Thank you, Mr. Parker. All right, first and foremost, in nursery production / nursery management, we would have to acquire good quality seeds.
Yes.
After acquiring the quality seeds, we would have to get good quality potting mix and our trays to actually carry out this procedure. of setting seeds to get seedlings to go out to the farmers.
So when you pretty much, what sort of medium are you using in these seed trays at this current time?
Currently, we're using the TH Euro mix, um, which is from AgChem, and it is pretty good.
So you're satisfied with the kind of results you're getting when using this germination medium?
Definitely, because it is a good drained soil, and I don't really have that much damping off as I would with other potting mix.
So here you have it already, farmers. The starting point, the good germination medium that is required. So let me just touch back something you mentioned. So let's say you were about to experience some amount of damping off, or you suspect that you might be having an issue. How would you manage such an approach?
All right, we basically draw for carbendazim,
Yes.
which basically offers a systemic procedure to basically kill and control the bacteria or fungicide that has developed in the plants.
Now, of course, carbamazepine is a systemic fungicide that can be used to drench. So you put it in the water and you drench the trays and everything with it.
Definitely.
You pretty much dunk it into it.
Definitely.
All right. So once you've gone and you started out, how do you get this kind of lush growth? What sort of fertilizers are you using to grow these quality seedlings?
Well, okay, all right. We basically go with the solid grow.
Yes.
12-48-8. Most important part of this sequence is the 48 high phosphorus.
Yes.
Which basically gives you this form of root mass.
Yes.
This plant is basically 2.5 weeks old.
Okay.
And normally I basically get these out of the nurseries by at least 3 to 4 weeks maximum.
So with solid grow, you find that the seedlings are growing much faster, the root development is even greater, and it speeds up the process, so to speak. So you can get the plants out on a timely manner when you get your orders coming in. All right, so in addition to solid grow, are there any other foliar nutrients that you use on the plants?
Well, we use the green stem.
Yes.
Basically for stress in the plants. For instance, basically a hot day and you didn't get to water on time and the plants start to wilt, you can apply green stem to your plants and basically can make a miraculous recovery.
Now, farmers, what also the green stem helps to do is to reduce, as Mr. Baker said, the stress conditions and to allow the plant to recover faster. Now, addition to, so we've covered solid grow, green stem, anything else in the arsenal that you pull for, so to speak, you're closer to about to giving them to the farmers. You want to boost the vegetative growth. Anything else that could be applied in this sequence?
Well, basically we could apply the Bio 20. Seaweed extract basically gives you the amount of nutrients and elements that the plants require, basically on going out into the field. So therefore, if you have a plant that is basically stunted, for instance, this one, and I apply Bio 20, you'd be surprised in about 2 to 3 days, it can basically gain another 3 inches.
So you use the Bio 20 to increase what they call the biomass, or the leaf area and the root area and the stem length. So all of this gives you the kind of quality in terms of the larger leaves and the higher quality that you would have been seeing in and around these plants that you're observing. Now, second to the Bio 20, I see you have Cytoplex and Sulcox. How are those in terms of the production role here?
Well, Cytoplex basically gives me that lateral growth.
Yes.
As I said even before, with the height of the plant, some persons don't want them this small. Some persons want them real tall. So therefore, I would have to basically incorporate some of this and then apply it to the plants as well.
Okay. So the Cytoplex gives you that growth because they want taller plants to transplant in the field.
Yeah, depending on their condition.
Okay. So the request is made and then you tweak your program accordingly to give that.
Basically.
When you're about to harden off, So you are going to go to market. So you're expecting Mr. So and so to come within a week or so. How do you carry out that process?
Well, the sulcax, it's a fungicide also, and has bactericide if content in it. So therefore, would use this as basically as a double element. So it hardens the plant,
Yes.
and it actually basically treats whatever fungus is in there at the time.
So 2 in 1.
Basically.
You're controlling whatever fungal diseases, whatever bacterial issues there, and you're getting that hardening of. Why is this important to harden off these seedlings, though?
All right, hardening off our seedlings is very critical because leaving from this greenhouse structure, going out into the sun, the rays of the sun basically melts the plant, if not hardened off.
Okay, so so you'll have more damage occurring to the seedling, this young plant
Tender plant, yes.
going out into the field. It also hardens off the cuticle of the leaves, so the plant is able to withstand that harsh sun rays, as you said earlier. So, with all of this, Mr. Baker, what are your customers saying? When the farmers, when you get feedback from them, I suppose they're all repeat customers at times, eh? But what are they saying?
Well, they're pretty pleased, you know. They're pretty pleased because they're saying that the quality that comes out of the nursery is exceptional, and the quality is based on the products that are being used on it.
Okay. And so they are satisfied and you are satisfied. Are they recommending other persons to you?
Definitely. Because, you know, the product speaks for itself.
Okay. So there you have it, farmers. Quality seedlings, quality planting material, right here at Found Out Farm. It's possible in Jamaica. We are doing it at CHEM Plant. We're leading the revolution in building out an agricultural society that will see our increase in productivity. Sir Baker, anything else? What insecticides? Is there any insect? I see you have screen mesh all around the place. Do you need to apply insecticides and so on in terms of getting these plants out?
Not frequently, however, I use when needed I use the diazinon or the cure.
Okay. So as to give these plants the added protection in going into the field.
Basically. And another thing that basically why hardening off is important is because the insects.
Okay.
Insects love the soft plants. And the plants basically will get damaged. Once it's very soft, the insects will just damage
Just
them.
cut them down. Okay, there you have it. So once again, just to recap, we are using our Solio Grow to increase your root mass, to give that plant that excellent root system, that root structure that you see here. You're also using your green stem to lessen the conditions in terms of stress. The use of Cytoplex, should you need some amount of stem elongation. Tell me if I'm getting it right now.
Yeah, man,
and of
definitely.
course, Sulcax to help with hardening off. And I heard you said earlier that you purchase high quality seeds. Some of these seeds, I suspect you purchase from CHEM Plant. What are those varieties?
Well, we purchased the deli. That's the tomato of the day, plummy tomato of the day.
Okay.
The deli. Farmers are just going crazy over it, and it's pretty much affordable.
The seed is from Namdari, high yielding, excellent variety. Any other?
The NS292.
What we know now as Green Bell.
Green Bell, yeah.
If you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, you'll see other clips and images of that plant and the robust vigor and nature in which it bears.
Yes,
Yes.
basically. And Polaris in the sweet pepper.
Okay,
brand,
so
yeah.
you have Polaris right here, of course. So farmers, we are not just selling you one aspect of the business. We have a complete line that you can purchase and to grow your plant, your seedlings. Here at Found Out Farms, of course, Mr. Baker can assist you with that as well, to give you that high quality planting material at the end so you can have an excellent crop. Welcome back. I do hope you enjoyed that video. For those who have not picked up their 2021 calendar, do remember to ask at your local farm stores. It holds several months of useful and vital data for your crop production activity. But moreover, you would have heard from Mr. Baker and the kinds of result that he has been getting and the quality seedlings that he has been purchasing. Now, if you look at the slide that I have here, what you would have seen is that the transformation was aided by Bio20. Just the application of one application of Bio20 and Fortify having drenched the plants, you can see the excellent transformation that would have occurred. Now, those are who of us who are on the platform. Can I just ask you one favor? Just indicate in the chat where you're from and what types of crops you're growing so we can have a fulsome conversation. Additionally, add your questions just the same. So at the end of the session, you can, of course, have them answered. And do remember that we have an excellent set of prizes for the participants who are able to answer the questions at the end of the session. So those who are on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, once you send in your correct answer, you will be afforded a prize. Now then, we move to our post-germination activity. Most of this might be recap, but work with me here. From the program, you would have heard certain key products. We talked about Bio20, Fortify, Solugrow or Kickstart, our Cytoplex, and of course our fungicides like Acrobat, Carbendazim, Topsin, and Sulcox. Now let's break down the content and put it in a more digestible manner. Bio20 in particular is a complete liquid formulation. It's highly concentrated, and what it does is to help the plant with increased biomass, meaning the benefits of the plus, plus, plus. So it's a 20-20-20 plus, and it also has what we call our kelpak or seaweed extract. And this gives the plant a robust root system. In addition to that, it also has micronutrients as well as amino acids. Now, the benefit of this is what I'm going to be speaking of next. When you look at the picture to the left of my screen, the root mass you're seeing on these cabbage seedlings is what we're talking about when we talk about increased root development. The leaf area also is usually larger when you apply biomass. You get Bio20, you get a quick growth as well as rapid uptake because the nutrients are in a form where the plant can easily assimilate or to take it in. Again, the plant, this of course is going to lead to increased growth and development, faster maturity, and of course amplified what we call plant vigor. So the plants are moving much faster, and you can afford get the benefits of using Bio20. The other product in this line is our Miller Solugrow or Kickstart. Remember, Mr. Baker said it, 1248-8. And the most important part is our 48%, which is phosphorus. And this helps the plant with the maximum root development. The goal at this time, farmers and nursery operators, is to give the plant the structure that it's going to be needing post-transplant. Remember now, once the farmer gets that seedling or once you take that planting material to field, what you're hoping to have is within the next 3 weeks, you should have fruit and flower initiation taking place. So you want that excellent takeoff or rapid growth once you bring him in the field. And the way you do this is to start from inside your nursery. Remember now, early start is what we're promoting here. The other benefit, of course, is the initiation of buds and the early takeoff as we go. Another product that can help you with your root development is our Fortify. And as the name suggests, you're getting a double action. It contains phosphate that are fully soluble, that are going to be building the plant's immune system. Additional to that, it also has phosphorus. And this phosphorus is helping the plant to increase your root mass. So you're getting protection and you're also getting rapid root development. It's easily absorbed and can be moved into the plant system readily. And of course, these products are all built with micronutrients. These products are these are needed to help the larger minerals to move through the plant system. And so you can apply either as a drench or in your knapsack and spray on to the plants, and they readily absorb and take these in. Excellent products to use in both your nursery conditions and even post transplant. So after they've been germinating, another week or so or two, when the cotyledons are out, you can start your foliar nutrition program. And this in and of itself helps. Additionally, additionally, the idea here is that the micronutrients are there and they help to to grow and help the plants to develop rapidly. I see Carlene Johnson here and Sullivan Dwyer, of course, and other farmers here. Howard Brown from St. Catherine. I see you're growing sweet pepper. Yes, sir. Petrine Thomas from Manchester, you're doing strawberries. Excellent. And so these products can be used both during and as well as post transplant. Now, bear in mind, no farmers, that there are benefits to be derived from using these products. Again, improve resistance to disease. We're talking about improved rooting as well as fruit set, increased yield, and the post-harvest quality. Now, don't be limited in your thought now in thinking that you can only use these products in your nursery conditions. It's even after. So you can start as early as in your nursery and you continue right throughout the growth cycle. Now imagine that start when you get a healthy plant moving into the field, and then thereafter you continue the process in building the plant's capacity to grow and develop. Now, to the miller side of the products, we have various biostimulants, and these are applied also as drench, or they could be done foliarly with a knapsack sprayer. The idea, of course, here is to promote and to reduce what they call stress. So that's one factor there. The other is to improve nutrition and uptake of the product, as well as improve the growth and development. So the packaging in and of itself is your green stem, your cytoplex, and your cytokinins. Let's explore cytokine. Now, it's a growth regulator that is used, and what it does, it can be used throughout all the growth stages of the plant. The idea here is that it, for a germinating seedling, what it stimulates and send to that seed at that point of germination is send out the radicle or the deeper roots into the medium and start picking up that nutrient that is present. Again, it's designed to grow and to help the plant to move in a more efficient manner, not to lag and to have any slowed or stunted growth throughout the growth cycle. The cytoplex has in both gibberellic acid, your auxins, as well as it has other plant extracts. Now, the idea here is that you are getting root development, lateral branching, as well as flowering. Now, again, in your nursery condition, and what we've done with these biostimulants is to ensure also that they contain nutrients. And the nutrients that are present are there to support the plant in the growth and development stages as it comes. So you're not just getting a biostimulant effect, you're also getting growth and development and nutrition in terms of the movement of the plant. So you're getting a 2-for-1 in this case. These Miller products, they come with nutrition and they also come with the balanced hormones that are needed to grow and develop the plant. Now, should you be in need of a product that enables the plant's defense mechanism again, so you have an option between Fortify and you now have one in the form of Green Stem. Again, here and now, the idea is to help the plant to grow and to develop, but at the same time, it's lessening the stress. Now, of course, some of the nursery conditions can be hot, and so when you apply Green Stem, what it does is to lessen the stress that is impacting the developing seedling. Now, let's say, for example, you would have even scorched or caused any damage. You want to be able to apply some of these products to do the same. Now, if you find yourself in an issue where you're seeing some level of damping off, or you have a view that you could be coming down, let's say the days are overcast or extremely wet, you can apply any one of our flagship fungicides. You have Topsin, you have carbendazim, and you also have Acrobat that you can pull to. These are systemic antisporulant as well as soil acting fungicides that are used to either prevent as well as to control the issues where damping off is concerned. Now, should you see this occurring, you do want to move to this, apply the product at the low rate, and drench the trees adequately enough to ensure that you get the product moving through the medium to control the disease that are present there. Now, to the final stage of your nursery production, which is your hardening off. What you want to be doing here is to gradually expose these young plants to more sunlight. This, of course, is going to be hardening the leaves or the cuticles and causing them to give up less water to the atmosphere. This, of course, helps by, and you can do this by reducing the number of watering cycles as well as increase exposure to sunlight. The benefit, of course, is to harden the cuticles. Now, you can also aid this process by using Sulcox in the mixture. So as you expose, you can simply apply a low application of Sulcox at 5 grams in a gallon of water, and this helps to harden the cuticle. Now, there are two benefits, of course. You're getting both fungal and you're getting disease control, and you're also allowing the plants to be able to withstand the harsh environment. So once you would have done these, then you are looking to move into the field where you have your post. You're going to be planting out and allowing these plants to grow and to develop. Now, as I've often said, should you find a need for additional technical information and guidance, we are spread right throughout the length and breadth of this Jamaica. We have Dale Smith, and he's in the western region, which covers Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. You have Sean Spence, which covers a latter part of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. Yours truly, that covers Clarendon and Manchester. Dennis Lecky, that covers St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland. And John Hoy Johnson, that covers St. Catherine, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. You can be reached at our various platforms, or you can call our front desk at 757-0022 and ask for any one of us. You will have a quick and speedy response to your various questions and queries that you may have. Now, I'm sure some burning questions at this time. Plus, I know that there are some persons who would have been so engaged and are very much ready to win this afternoon's prize. Bear in mind that we will select one such person from either of the platforms that you are participating in. And so my co-host, Georgia Robinson from marketing, will tell us of some of these questions.
Mr. Parker, what are some of the early signs of damping off? Can you remind me?
All right. So if you're coming down with issues of damping off, when you're going to be seeing some amount of what we call wilting, the plant looks slightly droopy. At the soil level, you may see the stem looking soft or watery. Now, it would have meant that the process would have started. Now, what you now need to do is to move into applying or drenching those trees with your carbendazim or your Topsin. Now, preventatively, which is the message I want to send home to you two, is that ensure that you step and you monitor your nurseries very carefully. Use clean media as well as trays. That's one aspect. These pathogens can be transmitted through water, through the medium, through the trays, as well as through various activities. So you ensure that you separate your space in such a way and you treat accordingly. Once you're doing this, I would recommend you do it to the entire area. If it's isolated, don't think that it's going to be staying in one place. Do the entire nursery space so as to shut down these spores.
So you're saying that if the seedling has damping off, can the process be corrected or controlled?
You can control, meaning that you save those that are unaffected. You might be able to, if it's just starting out, to shut down that pathogen and prevent it from going any further. If it's significantly affected, then that plant might be lost.
Mr. Leroy Wilson is asking, how do you ensure clean trays?
Well, if you must recycle your trays, that's one. Or if you bought them, ensure that you're getting them from a reputable place, that's one. And that they're clean to the eyes. But what you can also do, even if they're brand new, a 10% bleach solution, you just dunk them in it and sanitize them. Allow them to air dry, and then you move on to fill those trays with your medium. So it's easy to work out. If you have a gallon of water, perhaps, or a small 5-gallon bucket, 4 to 5 tablespoons or teaspoons in that water, dip both ends, ensure that they come out, and then allow them to air dry, then you fill.
My final question is, not really final, there's another one. Ventura Reed on YouTube is asking, if you're applying root max to a drip, how many package to the acre? Well, that's root max is agar.
The agar leaf
Leaf,
product.
yeah.
Okay. So you want to apply via a drip system.
Mm-hmm.
And that's to an acre. That's the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many packages to the acre?
All right. So it depends. Are you using a Venturi or a bulk tank mix? Because that will now determine your approach. Let me point out. If you have a drum and you're just dripping it via gravity, that size now is what we will calculate to determine how much fertilizer goes into that tank. If you're using a Venturi system, then the idea is to mix your fertilizer concentrated. So anywhere from 6 to 8 pounds can be mixed out and then run through your Venturi system. Remember, if it's a bulk tank, then what you do is to dilute the entire volume at the proportion and then run it through. Your Venturi system now will pick up the proportions as needed and dilute it and send to your field. I'm hoping that the question is answered. If not, then what you could do is to drop us your number where the agronomist for your region can contact you and we can work it through in a more simplified manner if so desire.
Okay. Laverne Lewis is asking, do you have the Euromix in store in Linstead, St. Catherine? What I'm going to do is to ask you, Laverne, to just send me a message on our WhatsApp, and I will give you the stores that you can go and purchase it. 876-401-4766. You can just send that to us.
All right, so if you should need a product in question, then what you could do is to just reach out to us and then we will tell you, we'll do the legwork pretty much. We'll tell you where the product is or are so you can go and make your purchase. So in Linstead, we'll tell you which particular store carries that product and how you can go about getting it that quick and easy.
All right. What are the advantages of using Alchem's TH Grow Mix?
No, the advantage, as I had mentioned earlier, is the free drainage. That's one. It comes with a starter fertilizer, two. And because of the structure of the peat moss that it comes with, what you now get is a high quality, high porosity material that allows for that drainage. Once you have air moving, then it lessens the likelihood of your damping off conditions. And it also allows for better root penetration and faster takeoff of your plants.
Okay. And Leroy Wilson is asking, is there an easy to reuse trays given the plastic and the environment?
Well, there's no easy to reuse the trays. Well, what you should ensure is that you sterilize them. So as I recommended earlier, a 10% bleach solution in a drum or bucket or wherever to sterilize, allow them to air dry, and then you move on. Bear in mind, of course, the implications that these pathogens, and of course, so if you know the history of what you have, then you can treat accordingly. right? So if you don't have any issues going forward, just treat them, move on.
That's it for the questions. You may ask your question now.
Okay, so I trust that you would have enjoyed the presentation. And now for the questions at hand. Now, bear in mind that I'm going to ask that you type your response in the message board so we'll see you because we have persons monitoring all three spaces. So the moment your question is in, we will indicate that you are the winner and we will take it from there. So, drum roll, please. This afternoon's question reads thus: identify two importance of using our Omics Bio 20 in your nursery operations. So, two importance of using Bio 20 in your nurseries. And I seem to have very bright students. Say again? I have one other question. Which two soluble fertilizer products promote rapid root development? Which two soluble fertilizer products I've mentioned promote rapid root development? And of course, are we seeing responses yet? I'm sure the question is not that hard. So the first question reads, two importance of Bio 20 in the nursery. And then the second question, two soluble fertilizers I mentioned earlier that promote rapid root development. I see someone saying I should give them a hint. Do you think so?
Leroy Wilson says 1248.8.
So Leroy, you're answering question 2. So 1248.8. And so that's solid grow. So that's one product, Sir Leroy. Is there another? There's one other product. So it's solid grow and
also Uniform on Instagram.
Yes.
Is answering the first question on Bio 20. Bio 20 extends the leaves and roots.
Yes, man. Bio 20 gives you, it increases as its name suggests, the biomass. So you're getting big roots and big leaves as the crop grows and develops. And remember, this is some seaweed extract, so it natural. Plant take it in very fast. Any other response you're seeing there? Nobody from Facebook?
Well, Stuart, Bio 20 and Kickstart.
For number 2, Bio 20 and Kickstart. No man, it's Kickstart and something else. It start with not the K, but the other one. So remember, it promotes, it helps to build the immune system. Hint, hint. And tells.
So for question number 1,
yes.
Are we giving it to Leroy Wilson?
Yes, Leroy Wilson would have taken home that question, of course.
And question number 2, soluble fertilizers.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving it to Uniform.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm going to ask Uniform to send me their contact number through the WhatsApp.
Yes, so DM us your contact information and your location so we can, of course, dispatch your products. And of course, when you use it, share the results that you've seen on our Instagram page, and of course follow the page as we post and add information.
So we have one final question.
Yes, there's one other question. So if you didn't get the first two, then you should be able to get this one. Identify one product, one fungicide that could be used to control damping off. I would have mentioned 1, 2, 3 of them, so you must remember one. So one product that can be used to control damping off. And
Ventura Reed, Topsin.
Ventura
on
Reed.
YouTube.
Yes, man, from yes, Topsin it is. Topsin.
Yes, correct.
Topsin is indeed correct. So they would have been Topsin, The other one start with C, carbendazim, and you also have acrobat. Remember, these are soil acting, meaning that they can penetrate and control whatever pathogens that are present. Now, we thank you wholeheartedly for joining us this afternoon. Do look out for our various adverts. And of course, feel free to drop us a line, share this video with your fellow farmer friends, and let us grow our yields.